and welcome, welcome, welcome to each of you this morning. Thank you all once again for joining together on our mats. Today is the last day in July 2023, and this month's weekly themes have centered around change and choosing your changes. And because this is the last Monday in the month, this will be our month in review. And as our ritual, we review the theme and the highlights of our classes. And our weekly themes this month have been, first was modify, second was replace, the third was transition, and the fourth was move on. Your yoga invitation. Today, just let my cues guide you as we continue to choose our changes. Namaste. We gift ourselves just a few precious moments now to truly arrive on our mats in some centering stillness. Today I'm going to invite us, let's bring our open left palm just to rest at the heart center, and the open right palm just to rest across your belly. Begin to relax your shoulders. And as you breathe, you'll begin to notice the rhythm, the movements of your breath through the palms of your hands. And how this focusing on our breathing gives a natural inner awareness. We begin to come home from the inside. And as Dana Falls reminds us, it only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something settles and softens and creates space for imperfection. With your next breath, begin to softly open your eyes if you did choose to close them. And we'll begin some warming practices as we review modification. So the palms and the hands begin to leave the body and they open out to our sides, and we create our first wide, big wingspan. We circle the arms all the way up, and as we release a breath, turn the palms outwards and let the arms slowly cascade down. Let's do this a few more times with our breath. The receiving is the rising through the arms, and the releasing breath Let it release down. Couple more. So this is where we begin to really focus in on modification in our practice today. Remember, modification is change. And the choice when to modify and how to modify is always yours. So right here, if there's a little modification with this simple movement, perhaps it's time to begin doing that now. The next time those arms are reaching up high above us, let's see that the arms are shoulder width apart, that the upper arms are close by our ears, and that the shoulder blades are sliding down. And then we're going to softly open the right arm out to the right side as we place the left palm at the heart center. Turn the eyes over to the right hand. Let's bring the eyes back to center. Start opening up the left arm out to the left. Bring the right palm back to the heart center, turning your eyes to focus on your left hand. We'll flow with this. Releasing breath. Left palm comes back to heart. Receiving breath. Right arm and eyes look and reach to the right. Releasing breath. Right palm to the heart center. Receiving breath. Our left arm opens out to the left, eyes following those fingertips. One or two more of these. Just begin to notice this opening feeling that you are creating through your upper body, the shoulder movement, the visual of following your fingers. And we'll bring this all back to center. Bring both palms back to the heart center. With an uplifted posture, reopen both arms again and let them rise all the way high up above you. Spread the fingers really, really wide and releasing breath. Let the arms reach forward and then let the opposite hands come to your shoulders and give yourself a little hug. And then just let your body kind of turn from side to side as slowly or as quickly as your body might be inviting you. Remember, you're modifying, creating the changes that serve you. Back into our center. Notice the stillness, and then let's open those arms again. Rise them up high. This time we bend both elbows. Palms of the hands touching of the upper back. And then we're going to lift up just the left arm. Reach up high, releasing of the breath. Left elbow bends. Let the left fingers just touch the right elbow. Feel the touch. That might be a modification that feels well for you. Maybe you've always grabbed tight to hold on for fear that you're going to let go. How about just a gentle touch? And then with next breath, we let those gentle left fingers and arm help lift that right elbow up. Still got that uplifted posture, releasing of the breath. We're going to slowly release this side. So we lift up the left arm. Let's lift up the right arm as well. Feel the full reach through both arms. Again, releasing breath. Both elbows bend. Palms touch the upper back. See that the upper arms stay close by the ears. And then just lift up the right arm. Reach it up high. Spread the fingers wide. Release a deep breath. Softly bend the right elbow. And just let the right fingers touch the left elbow. Next breath. Let the fingers and arm help lift that left elbow up. As you focus, is the right elbow still reaching outwards? Releasing of the breath, we release this practice. We soften it. Receive a breath. Both arms reach up high, high, high. Reach them up high. Open the arms out wide. Palms turn down. Softly touch the fingertips to the mat. And just to notice that touch. This suggestion for just the fingertips touching might be a modification that might be something you'd like to change. Just to notice a soft touch instead of a firm grip. With the next breath, we're going to lean back, start to stretch the legs out, transition into Dandasana. So the legs start to stretch out. We might modify our Dandasana today by having a little blanket underneath our hips or underneath our knees. But we're going to let those toes lift up towards our ceiling best they can. And then we're going to let those arms open out again from Dandasana. Keep the upper body in that uplifted posture and let the arms reach all the way up. As you release this breath, just the left arm reaches out to the side, palm down, fingertips touch. Reach up again through the right arm and then let your body reach over to the left side. We rise back up to the center and we lift that left arm all the way back up. We release the next breath. The right arm reaches out to the right side. Fingerprints softly touch and we release a breath as we reach over to the right side. We slide the fingertips back. We reach the right arm up. Now we'll go a little deeper. Receive a deepened breath. Release a long, long breath. Feel that left arm reaching out. Fingertips touch. Feel the right arm reaching over the right ear. Feel the right side of your body begin to stretch. Notice if you need to modify anything with the left arm. Would bending the elbow prefer a better practice for you, or keeping the straight arm? Would gazing upwards towards the right hand serve you better, or straight forward? Modify, choose your changes, and we'll rise up from this. So we feel that big lifting back to center. The left arm, yes, it rises up. Release a deep, long breath. The right arm reaches out. Fingertips touch. Begin the stretch. As you breathe, notice any choices that would serve your practice better if you gave yourself permission to modify. Are the kneecaps still looking up to the ceiling? We rise back up to center. We lift the body. We stretch ourselves all the way out through both arms. And then we softly bring the arms forward as we soften the knees. Bring the heels towards the sit bones and give yourself just a little gentle hug. Just a gentle, maybe just fingertips again. You're going to notice a whole lot more core energy if you do that. And then very gently, we're going to come back to the neutral. And we're just going to stretch out the left leg this time. Keep the right knee bent. Both hands now come somewhere on your right leg so you can lift that right foot up. We're just going to keep that right leg lifted. So we want to stay with an uplifted posture. Maybe fingertips, again, are underneath the knee. Maybe you stretch out the leg a little deeper and you lift up from the bottom of the calf. Maybe you lift up that leg a little bit higher and you walk the hands towards the ankle or foot. Wherever it serves you, feel where that healthy edge meets you today. This is how we invite yoga to meet us where we are every time we're on our mats. So we're just stretching out that right leg with a straighter leg or with a bent knee. We're going to receive one more nice deep breath. And then just hold on to the right leg with the right hand and arm, please. So now you need a little grip to keep that firm. Check in that the posture is still uplifted. Reach the left arm forward, free on its own, and release a breath. Open the left arm out to the left side and follow the fingertips with your eyes. Readjust the posture. Relax the right shoulder. Receive a deepened breath. Come back to your center. Follow the fingertips again, all the way back to center. One breath again. And releasing of the next breath, we release the practice. We soften the right knee. We bring the right foot down. We stretch the right leg out. We soften the left knee. Draw the left heel in. Give yourself just a little hug. And then begin the stretching journey with breath. Start to lift up through the left leg. Hold on. Maybe it's fingertips behind knee, hands behind calf. Maybe the leg stretches out and lifts a little bit more to walk the hands towards the ankle or foot. What serves you? Modify into that place that truly serves you. But stay aligned, stay connected, create that beautiful connection that's unique to yoga. Are we ready to open the right arm? We gently hold on with the left hand and arm only. We release the right arm. We lift up the posture again so we remember we're in yoga, and we receive a deep breath. Right arm reaching forward. Releasing of the breath, the right arm opens to the right side, eyes following the right fingertips. Keep moving wherever you can. Pause into that healthy edge and receive a full deep breath. And as you release the breath, you slowly circle that right arm back. You softly start to bend the left knee. Bring it back down to the mat and slowly bend the right knee. Fold the knees, if you can, into the seated pose, or keep the legs a little more stretched out. Give yourself that little hug again. Opposite hands to shoulders and bow forward. Just bow forward. Let the head grow heavy. Let the head grow really heavy. Bowing. One more breath. The choice when to modify and how to modify is always yours. Choose your changes. Ready? Rise. Begin to lift. Slowly transitioning back up. The arms release and we transition to tabletop. From tabletop, we'll flow into our spinal waves to the child's pose. So we check in with our tabletop alignment, knees below hips, wrists below shoulders. We might modify by folding the fingers in. We might do another form of modification that serves our body just today. That's all we ask, just right here, right now. And then we begin from tabletop with a nice deep receiving breath. And as we release the breath, downward wave, tailbone tucks down, head bows down, back body rises up. And as we release the next breath, we slowly let the hips reach back towards the heels. We'll soften the forearms towards the mat, or we'll keep straighter arms. We receive the breath and we rise back up through tabletop. And the next receiving breath into the upward wave. Releasing breath, downward wave, let's flow. Reaching back to the child. Receiving breath, flow through tabletop into the upward wave. One or two more of these beautiful little sequences here. Change is inevitable. But remember, if you've made changes by modifying, you can also change these changes when that timing is just right for you. Continue to choose how you change. Oh, it's a beautiful journey. Complete your last sequence back into the neutral position. Prepare for your downward dog. Maybe your toes tuck under, the hips reach back, you hover your knees and you unfold. Maybe you rise up from tabletop. Maybe you have another modification that serves you best to transition from tabletop to downward facing dog. We'll walk our dog here so we get the legs really warmed and awakened. Maybe you even have a happy dog today and the hips begin to wag a little bit from side to side. One more breath. And then rise the heels up together, please, as high up as they'll lift. And then notice the sensations through the base of the thumbs, back of the knuckles, mostly the index fingers. Really engage them down. And then slide those shoulder blades down and release the heels down. Here we are, downward facing dog. Next breath, the heels will rise, the knees are going to soften, and we either walk to the top of our mat, or we take 2 giant steps, or we find another modification that serves us to get our toes towards the top of our mat today. And we soften the knees when the toes are there. We open the arms out. We flow through chair. Just let the knees stay softened. But then transition. Upward salute. Arms are going to reach high. Maybe you like to lift the toes in your upward salute. Maybe you don't. From this upward salute, we're going to interlace the fingers. Let the elbows bend. Place the palms behind the head, thumbs protecting the sides of your neck. Open those elbows out wide. Lift up the heart center and just stay in a nice standing stretch here, or if it's available and you're playing with a little saluting back, you firm the glutes, press the pelvis forward, lift the heart center up, and just lean back lightly. Keep the elbows wide wherever you are. We'll all come back into our neutral position. Back into the neutral position. Arms slide apart. Open the arms out. And then softly hip hinge, forward fold. Knees soften, knees straighter, ragdoll, wingspan. Many, many, many choices. Choose how you change. And into our forward fold, we half lift. We lengthen through our spine. With our half lift, we soften the knees, step back to tabletop. From tabletop, just flow through one cycle or one sequence of your spinal waves. Get back home. We're ready to warm into energizing, and we'll be reviewing how we can change our practice through replacement. Here we go, from tabletop to your downward facing dog. Is it changed from your first one? From downward dog to split dog, left leg. And then we're going to bend that left knee. We're going to bow the head. We're going to draw the knee to the nose, nose to the knee. Body shifts forward. Feel the strength, receiving breath. Reach back out into your split dog. Releasing breath. Start to hug this energy in. Now, if you need to replace this practice, maybe you go back to tabletop and do it. Choose your changes. And the very next time that you are into your split dog, we're going to transition to low lunge, left leg forward. What serves you here? Bring the right knee down softly. Top of the right foot comes down. From next breath, we let the arms reach back to airplane, palms face, shoulder blades really slide down, collarbones really broaden out, and then release the arms down. Reach the arms forward. Receive a breath. Every time we breathe, we're replacing our last breath with the next one. As we release this breath, we're going to reach the arms forward. We're going to hip hinge, and we're going to stretch out the left leg and return to airplane arms. Here we go. Receiving breath. Low crescent lunge. What serves you? Releasing breath. Hip hinge forward, stretching the left leg out. Arms return to airplane. Flow through one more of these wonderful little sequences. You notice when you change a thought, you're replacing it? So if you need to change an action, please do so. And from the next breath, we come back into our low lunge with the arms reaching forward, and we're going to open into a twist. So we stay with the left arm reaching forward. We open the right arm out. Keep that left knee pointing towards the left pinky toe side. Open the right arm out and follow the right fingertips with the gaze of your eyes. As you release the breath, reverse the practice. So we come back to the center. Receive a breath. Start to open the left arm. Keep alignment, keep breath. Modify or replace whenever you need. And let this practice come back home. Slowly circle the left arm forward. Both arms rise up together this time. Let the hips sink down. Invite them. Keep the inner thighs scissoring together for that stability and support. And then slowly release just the right arm down behind you. Right palm is going to softly touch somewhere on the back of your right leg. And as you receive a breath, that left arm continues to rise up, reach up, move, flow, breathe. Excellent. Come back to that center. Circle that right arm up. Maybe it comes up from the bottom. Maybe it goes out to the side. Here we are into our low crescent lunge. Both arms reaching forward. Plant the palms to frame the left foot, and then reach just the left arm forward, revolving twist. Let the left arm begin to rise up, gaze up towards the fingers. Stretch upwards, open through the left side of your body. Are you still just on the fingerprints of the right hand? Modify or replace. Choose your changes and serve your practice. And now we're going to go back to low lunge. How does that left arm want to come back home? Circle back, circle out, circle forward. Bring it back to frame the left foot. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that back knee. Stretch out through the left leg into split dog. Yeah. And from split dog, we come back together. Downward facing dog. Woo. Remember, remember. We have always been home on our mat. We've made wise choices. We've learned fundamental skills. So now we can move and flow with our practice. So with this very next breath, come home into your downward dog. Full downward dog. Let's practice that sequence. Opposite side. Yes. With the breath, the right leg begins to transition to split dog. As we bend the knee, here we go. Hug the knee in towards the nose. Bow the head down. Round the back body as if it's downward wave. And then reach that right leg out. Split dog. And hug in. Here we go. Reach. Hug it all the way back in. One more. Reach. And hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. As close, as tight as you can. And slowly and softly step that right leg forward. Maybe you return to split dog. Maybe you just bring that right leg forward into your low lunge. Top of the right foot, left foot comes down. We let the hips sink down. We move into airplane arms. Receive a breath. Reach those arms back. Spread those fingers wide. Let the hips keep your chest close to the thighs, the hinge. Ready? Release. Release the arms. Reach the arms outwards. Let the body rise upwards. Maybe you're saluting back a little, maybe not. Here comes that nice flow. As the arms begin to reach forward, hips hinge, right leg stretches out, arms circle down, and then rise back up to airplane arms. Here we go. Breath. It releases. We reach to rise. We release. We reach forward. We stretch out the right leg, and we return to airplane arms. One more. Whenever we choose to modify a pose, we replace the intention of an ideal pose with the intention of honoring our healthy limits. That's what it's all about. And as the arms have reached up high this last time, we open into the twist. Release a breath. Right arm reaches forward. Hips stay kind of supportive as the left arm reaches back. Keep that right knee pointing towards the pinky toe side. Follow the left fingertips. And then slowly bring that left arm back. Whether you go out to the side, whether you come up and forward, whatever's serving you best. And then we reverse. So we receive the next breath. Now we lift up the right arm. We keep the left arm reaching forward. We open that right arm out to the back. We follow the fingertips with the gaze of our eyes. Smile on face. And then slowly let it come back home. Circle the right arm down. Let it come out to the side. Rise up. Reach up. Hips sink down. And then just the left arm releases. And it slowly starts traveling towards the back of our left thigh. The right arm continues to rise up. Reach up. Maybe we're saluting back, maybe not. We're choosing our changes. We're going to rise back up together. So return to your low crescent lunge. Full lunge. And then reach both arms forward together. Frame the right foot with both palms or fingertips, which is serving you. And then we'll reverse into a twist. So the right arm is going to reach forward. As it rises up, the torso turns. The eyes gaze up. And we turn into this twist. Scissor your inner thighs towards each other. See if you can just do the fingerprints on the left hand. And slowly, slowly and gentle, come all the way back down. Right arm circles down, plant the right foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, stretch back through pyramid, back into split dog. Yes. Yes, and down, downward facing dog. Downward dog. Home. And remember, you can modify downward dog anywhere you want. You can soften the knees. You can walk the dog, or you can even replace it. Go back to tabletop or a few breaths in child's pose. Oh, we continue with our very next breath. We're ready to energize now and review transition. So your choice again. You're going to step to the top of your mat. Either you do the big giant steps, walking meditation, or another modification that serves you. Go right into a half lift, please. Lengthen your spine. Receive a deep breath. And then bow. Bow. Let the chest draw towards the thighs. Let the head grow heavy. Be aware of how you are transitioning here. Be aware of the process so you can be in the moment as it changes. Forward fold. We're ready. Back to the half lift. Yeah. From half lift now, really engage the core. Navel draws inwards and upwards. Core is engaged, body is strong. Open the arms out to the wingspan and then bring them back to airplane. Stay strong. Now we're going to bend the knees, transition into chair pose or fierce pose. So softly the knees bend. Arms stay right where they are. Arms stay in airplane. Knees soften. Hips drop down. The chest rises a bit from the thighs. Move into your fierce pose here as you feel the deep awkwardness of all those inner little voices. I don't like this. I don't want this. Yes, you do. The body says yes. The tailbone tucks. The shoulder blades draw down. The collarbones broaden out. The fingers spread wide. The breath grows deep. And then we transition. Sun God arms. So the arms release down. They reach forward. They might reach up or they might just go right into Sun God arms with the knees still bent as fierce pose. Here we are. Fierce pose with Sun God arms. Next breath. Rise. Reach. Lift all the way up. And then turn to the long edge of your mat. And step the legs out wide. 5, pointed star. As those legs straddle away from each other, toes are lightly turned outwards. Arms open out and the fingers spread wide. You ever tried a 5-pointed star with Sun God arms? Whatever you transition, just remember to be aware of how you're moving and be in that moment. From our 5-pointed star together, we transition to Warrior 2. Palms turn down. The right foot outer edge stays parallel to the short edge of your mat. As you pick up the left toes, transition, spin on the ball of the left foot. So now the left toes are facing the other short edge of your mat. As your eyes turn to your left hand, your left knee bends. You transition into your Warrior 2. You keep moving and breathing into it. You go deeper and stronger. You get more courageous and more centered. One more breath. Powerful, powerful practice. And then we're going to keep the lower body as it is and just transition with the upper body to eagle arms. So the head starts to turn to center, the arms circle to center, and the right arm sweeps underneath the left arm. Create your eagle arms. Modify it or even replace it if need be today. With the next breath, we're going to lightly invite the elbows to rise. Release a breath, let the elbows reach away from the body. Don't forget about your lower body. Are your hips level? Is the left knee in 90-degree bend, pointing outwards towards the pinky toe sides? Is the right leg muscular, energized? And then softly release your eagle arms. The elbows softly come down, or whatever modification or replacement you chose. Open back out to Warrior 2. We're moving into Warrior 3, so we transition with grace. The right arm circles down, the right heel picks up. Pivot on the ball of the right foot. So now the hips close to the short corners of your mat. Got that? Arms reaching forward. And then slowly start to step the right leg forward, stretch the left leg out. Anjali Mudra. Palms touch, fingers touch, thumbs touch. Draw the thumbs to the heart. Find your drishti. And then slowly begin to ignite the core and stretch out through the right leg. So it's reaching away. Toes are always pointing down. The toes might come down and lift up. They might come down and lift up. We're going into Shiva squat. The left knee bends. The right knee bends. We release the Anjali Mudra, reach the arms forward, and then softly bring the fingertips back down to the mat. Way outside the left foot, so it's like a tripod. Hug the right thigh into the back of the left thigh. Hug them in, and then bow the head. Receive a breath. Stretch both legs out. And release a breath. Hug them back in again. Both knees bend, head bows. Hug, hug, hug. And receive. Reach it out. One more, please. Remember, if you've made changes with your transitions, you can always change these changes when that time is right for you again. So we continue to choose how we change. And with the right leg reaching out into a standing split, we softly bend the knee, we bring it forward, we bow into a forward fold. So again, the knees might soften, the legs might stay straight. We might do ragdoll arms, fingerprints outside the feet. Might do ragdoll arms behind the knees. One more breath. And then transition to upward salute. How's that serve you now? Upward salute. As you release the breath, please turn again to the long side of your mat and step out into your beautiful 5-pointed star. Open to the heavens, reaching out, lifting upwards, gazing upwards. And then very gently, head comes to the center, palms turn down. We're transitioning to Warrior Two, right leg forward. Transition. How does it serve you? When you're gazing over those right fingers, start to bend that right knee. As the energy focused on the strength and stability, as the flexibility continues to change. Where's your drishti? Is it at the middle fingertip, the little finger, all fingers? Where's the breath? Now we're going to transition to eagle arms. Lower body stays as is. Head starts turning to center. Arms start circling to the center. Keep that right knee pointing out to the pinky toe side. We know that. Left arm sweeps under the right arm. We create our eagle arms. We readjust the lower body so it's in alignment. Hips are level. Knees are strong. One is bent, one is straight. And then we breathe. And we start to lift up the elbows. And we reach them away from our body. And then we softly and slowly begin to release the elbows down. Release your eagle arms. Transition with grace. Be in the moment. It moves. Feel the movements. Yes, back to the Warrior Two with that strong drishti through the right fingertips. And we begin to transition to Warrior Three. The left arm circles down. The left heel lifts up. We spin on the ball of the left foot. Feel this transition. Now you're in the high lunge position with the lower body, with the arms reaching forward. Now you create Anjali Mudra. So you transition the hands and arms to this prayerful state. You gaze and find a new drishti. You step that left leg in just a little bit as the right leg becomes ignited with strong energy. And then you slowly make sure the core is engaged and you start to lift through your left toes. And the toes might come up and come down. They might stay up. Be playful. You're just here to learn more and more, deeper and deeper, who you are, what choices you make, what changes you create. And then we transition into Shiva Squat. Both knees bend, arms reach forward, fingertips come down to the mat or floor, way out in front of the right foot, tripod style. Bend both knees, hug the left thigh deep behind the right thigh. Hug it in, bow the head down. Here we go. Reach out through both legs. Right leg stretches out, left leg lifts. Couple more. Release. The beauty of transitions is that we're aware of the process. So we are in the moment. It becomes change from that strong stretching out Shiva into that close hugging in. Next time that left leg is stretched out, lifting up behind us, soften the knee, bring that left leg forward into your forward fold. Maybe you choose to do a little different forward fold this time. Have you remembered that you can place the palms underneath the soles of your feet for a beautiful, nice little wrist stretch? Modify, replace, and transition. With the very next breath, we transition away from our forward fold. We soften the knees, open the arms forward, reach them forward, and then ragdoll arms, opposite hands onto the elbows. Let the elbows really come down and the head swing free. Give your body just this beautiful little reprieve. And we will begin finishing well as we review. We can choose to move on. Ragdoll, forward fold. Release the ragdoll, hands and arms, fingertips outside the feet. Now we're going to step that left leg back once again to the low lunge. Bring it into the low lunge, top of the foot comes down. We're going to move into divine half monkey. So the important thing of transitioning and moving on from low lunge to divine half monkey is that the back leg, when you transition, the outer hip and the outer left knee stay aligned as the right leg stretches out. So maybe you bring that left leg back a little deeper than you normally do in low lunge and allow that to happen that way. Maybe you bring the low lunge a little closer in, but you lift up the right toes and stretch the right leg forward. So these are changes and choices that we make through modifications, replacements, so we can transition and move on. So we're ready. We've made our choice. We're into our low lunge. And as we receive a breath, we let the heart center lift. And as we release a breath, we start to let the hips hinge forward. We stretch out the right leg as we just kind of gaze. That outer left hip and knee stay aligned with each other. Let that right leg stretch out. Let the head bow. Maybe hands walk forward. Maybe hands stay close by the knees with elbows bent. Receive a breath. Rise yourself back up. Create a half lift. So the chest is lifted away from the thigh. Release a breath. Bow again into your divine half monkey. One more. The breath is received. We do a little modification of a half lift. And we release as we bow. As you receive that next breath, bring that right leg back into the bent knee, please. However you need to transition for that. And then we're going to just go into a spinal balance with only the hands and arms. So we're going to stay low lunge, lower body, and the left arm is going to reach forward and rise up. Upper arm next to the ear, fingers wide again. Softly bring the left arm down. Slowly transition, bring the right knee back into tabletop. Flow through a wave. Come back home, something familiar. Something soft. Keep these little reprieves throughout your day, on and off the mat. And then very gently, we begin low lunge. This time the left leg is going to step forward. We're moving into or transitioning into divine half monkey again. So make your choice. What modification or what do I need to replace to make this work for me? I choose to bring that right knee back a little bit deeper. And then we half lift. So we lift the chest. We lift the spirits with a deep receiving breath. And as you release the breath, we hip hinge, bow forward. Start to stretch the left leg out. See that your outer right hip and your outer right knee stay aligned as you bow, bow, bow. Receive a breath. Half lift here. Just lift the chest. Release the shoulders down. Just a soft gaze forward so the neck stays lengthened. Don't lift up the head. And then release the breath. Bow forward once again. As you receive, half lift, please. Notice your fingertips, notice your breath. Release and bow forward. Remember, yoga teaches us that change only happens in the present moment. That's this moment. And then we realize in this moment we choose to move on. Half lift, we return. We bring that left leg back into the low lunge. We receive the breath. The right arm reaches forward and lifts up. Upper arm next to the ear. Maybe you just dance with the left fingertips so you know you have whole body skill again, and release. Bring the right arm down. Return, transition, tabletop, transition, Dandasana. We're transitioning on the mat. Remember, it's moved with grace. We're being aware of the movements. We change what we need to. We find Dandasana again. We may have our props nearby to support our practice. From Dandasana, we exaggerate and we open the collarbones. Really feel them opening out. Notice what else moves when you open through the collarbones. Notice where the breath body changes when you really focus on one detail within your practice. Then we're going to transition to the supine pose. Whether you roll down from Dandasana or you bend your knees and you support yourself down, or you don't support yourself down with bent knees, whatever serves you, whatever is serving you. Remember, this whole month we've been focusing on choosing our changes through these detailed key words. So now you know what's serving you. And when you feel your back body onto your mat today, now we'll bend our knees. We'll pick up our feet and we give ourselves just that gentle little hug. We release the hug and we bring the feet all the way back down. Now we're going to transition into a little sequence where we hug the thighs in, and then we elevate the legs up and reach the arms overhead. So, release a breath. Return to a nice, gentle hug. Receive the breath. Start to release the hug. Stretch the legs out. Lift the arms up. Keep the legs lifted wherever they are, and let the arms reach overhead. Release the breath. Bring the arms forward, bend the knees, and give yourself that wonderful little hug. And again, receiving breath. You release the hug. The legs stretch out and lift up, or just stretch out. And the arms reach overhead or just out to the sides. And again, one more. Hug in, deep releasing breath. Deep receiving breath. Reach out, legs lift, arms reach overhead. And return. Nice little gentle hug. Hug in, hug in. And then slowly open the arms out to the wingspan. We're going to move into our supine twist. So you keep the feet elevated if you choose. You could lift the back of the head just enough and interlace the fingers behind your head and let the elbows reach out as you support the back of your head. You can have wingspan arms. You can have sun god arms. But next breath, we transition into this movement as we release the breath. Knees release over to the right, just a little, and then bring them back to center. One more. As you release the breath, the knees release over to the right, and then you bring them back to the center. Now we continue. In center, we receive a deepened breath. Releasing of the breath, and begin to let the knees release, release, release. Keep breathing, keep moving. Remember, we've always given the choices of, in supine twist, head might stay neutral or turn the opposite way. So what way is serving you now? One more breath here. Beautiful. We come back to center, receive. Start lifting the left knee and then follow it with the right knee. There we are, back to center, releasing breath. Knees release together to the left. So it's just this little journey. And then they come back to our center. We release the next breath as the knees release together over to the left. Feet elevated or feet on the floor, and we come back to the center. This breath, we continue the journey. We receive it deeply. Begin releasing, and begin releasing both knees over to the left. Choose to make your changes. Breathe here. We have 4 master keywords this month that have helped us understand how we can choose and make changes in our yoga practice. Remember, we can modify, replace, we transition, and then we move on. We can even change the changes when that is correct and right for us. Excellent. Next receiving breath. Right knee starts to lift, followed by the left knee. We're all back into the center. Give yourself a beautiful little hug. Transition wherever you are into a wonderful little hug. Maybe you put knees to armpits. Maybe you like to lift your head and bow your head towards your knees. Maybe you just like to hug the thighs in gently towards the chest. And release. Release the hug. And then softly let the legs elevate again, with or without support. Beautiful. Just to notice, again, as we started, following the breath and how that natural inner awareness just brightens, kind of takes the center stage. Couple more breaths. And with your next breath, create the change that serves you best and move towards Shavasana, or stay with the practice you're in. Shavasana. This gifted place where we absolutely let go. Even breath breathes itself in Shavasana. Shavasana allows us to reside in a place where we need not attempt to change, modify, replace, transition, or move on. Just simply breathe in and breathe out. And realize that in this place, nothing need be changed. Nothing need be modified. Nothing need be replaced, transitioned, or moved. Gently draw your awareness to that place between your eyebrows, expanding that awareness into your space and wiggling through toes, ankles, fingers and wrists as we softly place our left palm at our heart, our right palm across our belly, and nourish our body with several deepened, refreshing breaths. Invite your next breath to awaken you as you give your body an awakening stretch. And from this awakening stretch, we bend our knees, turning all the way onto our right side. And begin to slowly rise into our seated poses. From our easy seated poses with Anjali Mudra, we receive a deepened breath. And as we release this breath, we bow forward, giving gratitude to our body, breath, and mind for allowing us to practice today. We rise together. And we close. Namaste.